Hey guys, I'll be going over step 5 leveling guide. Usually the level timing or like when to roll, when to level doesn't change that much between sets. So it should be still useful for different sets in the future sets. And obviously this doesn't apply to the real comps. So for level 4, you'll probably be leveling to 4 sometime between the stage 2-1 and 2-3. Usually default it's at 2-1. And you could always pre-level to 4 at 1-4 during creep round, which is staying 4 XP out of 6 to see the level 4 shops at stage 2-1. When to decide to level to 4 is usually in the current meta, I like to pre-level to 4 because a lot of the 3 cost units in stage 2 are really strong, or even in stage 3. So you can stabilize and have direction with a 3 cost unit. So I like to pre-level to have the higher odds of hitting the 3 cost. But if you're full win streaking stage 2, you could level slowly or naturally level to 4. For level 5, it's usually anytime between stage 2-3 to 2-4. Usually it's 2-5, which is right after stage 2 carousel. Again, same like stage 4, level 4. You could always pre-level to 5 at 2-3 right before carousel to see level 5 shops after the second carousel. For this, usually you want to make 10 gold at 2-5 after carousel. So you want to make the 10 gold econ threshold at 2-5. It doesn't always have to be this, but this is just how I have been playing since step 1. There's like very rare cases where you could sometimes play aggressive and speed up the lobby and level to 5 at 2-2 if you have the gold and the board allows it, right? And the main purpose of this is to maintain and push your win streak. For level 6, it's almost always between stage 3-1 to 3-2, almost always 3-2, unless you're obviously pushing win streak. You level to 6 at 3-1 only if you're trying to maintain your win streak and you have something like a unit to play that's sitting on your bench. If you're not pushing win streak, there's close to no incentive to roll, leveling to 6 at 3-1. So you'll most likely default level to 6 at 3-2. To stabilize, if your board is weak and you're low HP or like your board's not stable, you could always roll at level 6 at 3-2 is the time to roll. There's like very rare cases where sometimes leveling to 6 at stage 2 at 2-6 right before Krugs could be correct, but it's like super rare cases that only happens like 1 in every 100 games. It's only recommended if you know exactly what you're doing, as it could be very risky in a way that you kill your econ, right? So like an example of a rare case is like there's 2 win streakers and you need that exact extra 1 unit to beat that person to maintain your stage 2 win streak. It could be worth it, right? But if it's not like rare cases like this, it's usually not worth it to do this. For level 7, you usually level to 7 at 3-5 right after stage 3 carousel or 4-1. It's usually at 4-1, but if you're on a win streak or you have a good econ but low HP, like you've been lose streaking all the way until 3-5, you want to level to 7 at 3-5. At 3-5, you want to usually make 20 to 30 gold econ threshold at 3-5, level 7. Obviously, this doesn't apply if you're low HP and you really need to win the next 2 remaining of the rounds, or you have a lot of pairs and it doesn't really matter about the econ threshold. It's just more important to maintain your win streak or save HP. Since leveling to 7 is default at 4-1 most of the time, and your board is like weak, your level 7 board is weak, you always roll at level 7 at 4-5 to stabilize your board and push for a strongest board at level 7. Sometimes you could play aggressive and level to 7 at 3-2 if you have the gold and the board allows it. There's like very rare cases. It's like only to maintain your win streak and push win streak. It is usually not recommended, but you can sometimes see this happen like every 100 games or so. For level 8, it's any time between the stage 4-1 to 5-1, usually 4-5 or 5-1. So times where you level to 8 at stage 4-2 is if your board is iffy but you have super good econ. So like if you're Lucic for most of the game, you could only stabilize off like Heimer 1 or like 1 legendary unit, or your spot isn't a really iffy spot but you really have good econ. Then you level to 8 at 4-2. Or you could just be win streak the most time, then you just level at 8-2 and just sit without rolling. 4-4-4-5, you could roll at level 8 4-5 if the board is bad. If your board is you roll at level 8 at 4-5 if your current board is bad, or you don't need that much gold to finish up your board. Like as in, for example, if your board is already like Dawnbringers and you just need 1 Karma or like 1 Garen to spike, since you already have since your base board is already Dawnbringer, you don't need that much gold to transition. So it's fine to roll at level 8, 4, 5. But if your board is okay and your current board won't take bad losses at stage 4, 5 or 4, 6, then you just level to 8 at 4, 5 and you sit on like the 20 or 30 gold econ threshold. You transition your board or roll it down at 5, 1 with the extra gold you have. For example, if you're playing like an A-bomb or like a different board and you're trying to pivot that board into, transition that board into something else completely different, and you need a lot of gold to transition your board, right? So then the extra gold that you saved up with the econ, 20 to 30 gold econ threshold at 4, 5 will help make your transition smoother at 5, 1. Usually you roll to 0 at 5, 1 after you level to 8 to stabilize and you finish off the board. Usually this is like you're playing for top 4 placements and not to win. This is how most like high ranked lobby goes. You level to 8 at 5, 1 and then you just donkey roll to 0 every single round to stabilize and just try to create the strongest board you could possibly have and playing for replacements. There's like very rare cases where if you're full win streak 100 HP, you could level to 8 at 4, 1 to maintain your win streak and to push win streak. Same thing applies as the other aggressive leveling speed and from previous levels. For level 9, a lot of like my viewers ask like, when can you go 9? When do you go 9? Do you ever go 9? Stuff like that. But this really depends on like a lot of factors. It depends on like how strong your board is relative to your lobby, like how many upgrades you have, like how good your items are, stuff like that. It also depends on like your HP, the lobby HP. Like if the lobby is like all super like close together, like 30 to 50 HP range, then you're most likely not going 9 and just playing your strongest board every single round in stage 8 to play for placements. It also depends on your econ obviously, and like some other RNG like matchup RNG, matchmaking, stuff like that. So a lot of things to factor. But like a rule of thumb is usually if you have really good item and you have like 2 4-cost upgrades, like 1 4-cost frontline upgrade and 1 backline upgrade. Like for example, Bell cost 2 backline with 3 items, 3 full items, and like Rel 2 with like tank items plus as a frontliner. You could usually push 9, and then when to push 9 just depends on your HP, your econ. Alright, that's it for the leveling guide. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys, and hopefully you can use this guide to push a high rank. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching.